All right, you guys, welcome to part 2 of the Beginner's Guide to Competing. We cover all the topics in this very, very robust webinar that we turned into a podcast for you guys. Part 1 has already been released, so make sure you take a listen to that over on the podcast. Also, this full webinar was done on YouTube, so you can see this all in real time, see our clients' photos, the befores, the afters, and also listen to part 1, which in part 1, we covered what the judges are looking for, type of diet, supplements, training, and cardio you will expect or need to be doing in a contest prep scenario, and a real life timeline of a client who had over 60 pounds to lose. So if you haven't watched that episode, make sure to go take a listen to that first. In part 2, we're going to go over the mental and emotional considerations that you will want to know before you dive into something such as a contest prep. We're going to go over posing, presentation, and stage presence. Also, the post-show and off-season period. What does that look like? What to expect? And a lot of the burning questions around the costs of competing. So we went into a deep dive in details on that. At the very end, we had a great Q&A with a lot of questions that were submitted through Instagram and through some of the webinar attendees. And then last but not least, just a reminder, enrollment is open for coaching currently through July the 28th. We talk about that in the webinar as well at the end. But if you are already interested and you know you want to apply for the team, make sure to visit the link in the show notes, submit your physique assessment, and I will be in touch with you. All right, you guys, enjoy the show. Boss bitch. Welcome. I'm Diane Flores, a former overweight, unhealthy, single teen mom living on all forms of government assistance, turned IFBB bodybuilding professional. And I'm also the creator of Venus Fitness Studio, which is an all-women's personal training gym with a team of personal trainers transforming lives in our community of Modesto, California. I'm also the founder of the Goddess Body Elite competition team with athletes all around the world and a team of coaches helping women achieve greatness they never thought possible. But it wasn't all that long ago that I lacked the knowledge, the confidence, the budget, and the time to focus on changing my own health, my own body, and mindset. Fast forward past many failed attempts and lessons learned, I stepped on stage 16 times, earned the prestigious title of IFBB Pro, and in that process have created a formula for our clients that's changed lives and gives me more freedom and confidence in my own body than I ever thought possible. One that only existed as a daydream. My team and I now teach others through training clients in the studio, online programs, competition coaching, and now this podcast that you're listening to. I created the Boss Bitch Radio podcast to give you simple, actionable, step-by-step strategies to help you make profound changes in your life. If you're an ambitious fitness junkie or one in the making who's looking to up-level your confidence, create a body, mindset, and a life that you love, you are in the right place, Boss Bitch Bestie. I freaking love you, and let's get started. We are going to talk about also one of the most important parts, which is mental and emotional preparation.
Okay, so mental and emotional preparation. So it might sound like you're doing all the things already, right? You're like in the gym weight training, you're doing cardio. You might be like, sign me up. I'm ready to put my body through this thing. But what most people don't realize is the toll competing takes on you, on your life in general, on your mental, emotional, physical body, right? So this is really a solo sport. Yes, you're going to have a coach, but coaches are not there to like hold your hand and do everything for you, right? You have to be motivated and disciplined along the way to carry out exactly what your coach is telling you. Do you have a support system? Is your husband on board? Do you have a boyfriend on board? It is not going to be helpful if you have to come home and there's people eating McDonald's every night, okay? Because guess what? Your food is not going to contain McDonald's. How important is your social life? Are you going out? Do you have a super social family? Are they going to understand? Are they going to support you through this time where maybe you're bringing Tupperware to your family events? Is life really crazy for you right now? Did you recently have a death in the family. Like life still happens as you prep and it still goes on. Okay. It takes some preparation. Life always throws curveballs, but it's like you really have to be in check with yourself and know like this is a very big commitment. How much time do you have for yourself? Do you have enough time to dedicate to the gym? You will doubt yourself and you will want to quit. You will look in the mirror and it will be like a fun house mirror. You could have lost 10 pounds, you could have lost 50 pounds, and you will be like, I don't look like I have any muscle at all. And 2 months down the road, maybe after your show, you'll look back at those pictures and be like, what was I talking about? I looked incredible. So you will look in the mirror. It will be a fun house mirror, but everyone goes through that imposter syndrome of like, can I do this? Who do I think I am? Who is she? I don't know. And you will go through those phases. Everyone does. I'm sure professional athletes, just as everyone else, you know. Are you local to your coach? Do you have an online coach? That's kind of what we do, you know, as well as your coach. Most people are going to be online nowadays. That's just kind of the reality. And then do you have accountability in place? Can you keep yourself accountable? Can your significant other keep yourself accountable? And just planning your life kind of around this, because it's going to take at least 6 months to be dedicated to this sport. And if it's a one-time thing, that's great and fun, awesome. But as you can kind of see, there's a timeline for this. And the best time to start is like as soon as you want to hit the stage, because it's so much more than just hitting the stage and getting ready for this one day, right? It's a whole ass journey, commitment, investment, and it's a lot in your health, in your family, in your life. So it's not just like, oh, let's go to the gym a few hours and eat on a meal plan and everything. It's like your whole family and your whole support system is with you along this journey.
Whether they're doing it with you or not.
Yeah.
Not to scare anyone away, but
typically,
no, we were here to deliver the truth.
Typically, they're not doing it with you. Okay. My husband has no
desire,
nothing of wanting to eat like me, go to the gym like me, none of that. And that's not for me to be mad at him about that. You know, it's my choice to compete and I need to hold my own shit.
For sure. The other thing too that I wanted to also make a point to is if you have a history of disordered eating, that is always a red flag for me as I'm looking over intake stuff for these physique assessments, because this is not going to fix your disordered eating. It will in fact make it worse.
It lights it on fire.
So that is something you have to know about thyself, right? If you've had treatment for it and things of that nature, that is beyond our scope of practice or any bodybuilding coach's scope of practice unless they have specialty in it. We do have resources for our clients to refer them out if they start to stumble upon this or they feel that this starts coming up for them. Lots and lots of resources for that. But that is something I also wanted to say. And another thing too is if you're on a team, right, we're the Goddess Body Elite team, right? Sounds great, sounds fancy. Like we just all hang out, work out together, we meal prep together, we do all the things. That ain't how it be. We're all adults. We all have busy lives, and we're a team in that this is what we do. We produce these amazing, results. And, sometimes we'll do little webinars together. We also have stuff at the studio sometimes, but most of our clients are across the US. And if you work with an online coach, that's likely going to be the case. So just know that you have to be self-motivated and driven and disciplined to be able to execute the plan that your coach sets in front of you every week.
Yeah, I mean, with that being said, like, how hard is it for you to just like see your friends once a week?
Yes.
How are you going to see your teammates and work out with your teammates and do cardio with your teammates? Now, yes, you could probably like make that happen a little bit, but even the coordination in prep, it's a lot. It's exhausting.
Yeah. So you have to, if you don't have teammates local to you, it's a great idea to find an accountability person to either train with you or do cardio with you, but one that isn't going to be like, can we just skip and go get chips and salsa?
I feel attacked. I feel attacked right now.
Okay, next slide. All right, Miss Amanda. So this is Alysha's client, Miss Cynthia, who just competed this past weekend. So that was also fun. 52-year-old.
Cutie patootie.
Yes. So this is.
Can we just be like how when she saw her makeup done, she was like, I don't know who this is.
She's like, I'm a bad bitch.
Yes, she was. Yes, she was.
All right.
All right. So presentation and stage presence. So if you are taking 6 months to train your body to look this good and you don't know how to show it off, you've wasted your time. Time waster. Okay. So posing for each division is going to be different. The sooner you start, the better. I have a little Chiquita that I post today. She is not even thinking about competing until next year, but we're already posing. Mm-hmm. We're already posing and she's already picked it up really great. And that just means the longer she practices, the better she's going to get. And as her body changes, we're going to be able to make those little tweaks and whatnot to make it look amazing. So bodybuilding, competing, getting on stage, it's a muscly beauty pageant, which I love. Yeah. Because I love getting dressed up. I wear all the jewelry, the hair, the makeup, all of that, especially after you've kind of felt like a little bit of a sewer rat for about 3 months.
Yes,
okay?
because you are like sweaty and in gross workout clothes 99% of your life. When
we barely wash our hair twice a week as it is.
Yes.
Wait till we get in prep. Okay. So you get to bring your inner badass out. You get to like pick all your jewelry and all of that, which is great. And then your suit, my favorite part. Okay. This is the one where you put it on and you're like, yes, you get to pick your color, pick your beads, debating on if your coach says it's okay. Mm-hmm. She will not let me get a white suit.
Yes.
I'm still dying over that. Okay. So suit cuts vary. Everything is going to be different. It's always very high up on the hips, like your 80s waist. I know that probably sounds weird, but you want to just make sure that you're getting the suit that fits you well and fits the category. If you are doing wellness and figure, you're going to need 2 different suits. Mm-hmm. They're not going to go and cross over and work for both, okay? You're also going to need posing for 2 different categories if that's the thing. So that's what we did with Kate back in the beginning, right? She was figure and wellness, but our heart won and wellness won. So that's where she's at now. Next thing, number 4, is going to be jewelry, makeup, hair, nails. All need to be cohesive for the look, okay? They need to kind of go together. So say you've got, I know, I get really nitty gritty with this because this is probably not something that anybody cares about. Have you seen the jewels? Some of them are just like silver and they shine. And then some of them are like that rainbow shine.
Yes.
It's called an AB.
AB crystals.
AB
yes.
crystals, okay? That is a big difference on the way things look. So for me, I'm like, so anal about it. If I got AB crystals on my suit, I got AB crystals on my shoes, and I've got AB crystals in my ears, on my wrist, all of that.
It all
okay.
Matches, yeah.
Nails, they need to not be out of this world. That you don't want them to be distracting. And then your makeup. So everybody's a little bit different. Myself, I don't prefer color on the eyes, like pink, blues,
orange, pink, purple.
Yeah, not my preference. Best preference I love is a glitter eyelid, a little bit of a smoke. It could be a little bit of like a pinky color, maybe a brown, smoky, like right over the lid. But that is going to be a whole nother part of what you're going to be doing. And if you cannot show it off in the best way, looking cohesive, it's going to look off. Okay. So number 5, winning physiques suffer not displaying properly. Take this part seriously. So that means you should ask your coach. If you have a coach and you're not sure, like for me, whenever I was like, hey, this is my makeup I want. What do you think, coach? Find a picture. Don't just go to your makeup artist and be like, okay, do whatever you want.
Please don't do that.
Please don't do that. Okay. Make sure that you have the right shoes, the right suit. If you like these shoes either have like a little baby platform or no platform. Okay. These are not the pole dancing shoes that we used to use. Okay. No. So it's all very tailored to what you're going to do. So number 6, this part should be fun. Approach it with excitement and not with dread. Okay. So this is the part where I go either wherever I'm going to go buy any of my jewelry and I'm looking at it. And I'm like, okay, which one do I like better? For me, I'm crazy. I bought like 3 pairs of earrings. I bought like
variety.
I needed to know. Okay. So the better that you can show off your presentation, your posing, all of that is going to make your muscles look even better.
Yes. And I think people underestimate the importance of this part of bodybuilding because they're like, oh, that looks easy. You just walk around in heels and parade around and show off your muscles.
I'll tell you.
No, bitch, it's not that easy, okay?
The hardest thing to do is walk in those heels and make it look effortless.
I see it on girls on stage every show. And I'm like, oh, you didn't practice your walking. So super important that you work with somebody who knows what they're doing for the division that you're competing in, because your body needs to be displayed appropriately. And sometimes if you're trying to hide certain flaws or, some body part isn't exactly how we want it to look the day you get on stage, we have creative ways to draw attention elsewhere with posing and make sure that you are displaying that properly.
Yeah, I mean, you need to feel your best and look your best. And I think what we usually tell girls is you need to become Beyonce. Okay, maybe Beyonce's not your girl. Maybe you're Shakira. I don't know, whoever you want to be.
Hips don't lie.
Exactly. So you literally take on a whole nother persona when you hit stage. Now, I'm glitter on stage. It's just the way I be. But you guys know I'm over the top. Okay, so it fits. If you're kind of like a quiet girl, you don't really like get loud, you're not very sassy unless you're like provoked, you're going to have to probably take on a whole new persona to be able to get out there and Beyonce your ass across the stage. Look at Alysha. She's
hair
like,
flipping.
I don't know if you guys have seen Alysha's posing videos, but a bitch gets down, okay? She be like feeling herself. She be making it happen. Hair flips and all.
Yes. This is the time you are supposed to be extra.
So when I do it on an everyday basis, it's not right.
I mean, it's cool every day too, because just we are who we are. But if you don't bring that out every day, this is where you do. One last thing I want to say before we move on to the next slide is the tendency is that girls want to pick their favorite color. Oh, I really want this peach. I love this white. I love this leopard print.
I love that suit.
I always encourage people to stay away from trendy suits.
Yeah.
Weird, trendy, weird patterns and just things that are just off the cuff. I always tend to go with classic looks for all the things: hair, makeup, jewelry, nails, suit color. Look at the top winners in the top bodybuilding shows who are winning the Olympia, the Arnold, all those bigger shows. What are those top 5 girls wearing? That is an indication of what is in for the season. Okay.
Yeah. Sandy, even at this last show, she was saying that everything was looking like blues and greens, which I feel like the last show, it's purple and blue. So blue's a great color to put on your body when you're tan like that.
Yeah. And we will help you with that. We usually want to see what your suit looks like and color and all that. Not usually, I do. I'm like, What does your suit look like? Send me samples.
November is 16 weeks out. So my girls are like, hi, you need to go pick your suit and I need to see it before you buy it.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, next is after you step off stage or off season, which is what we call it when you're not competing, is the post show. What happens post show? And this is one of our clients in the studio, Miss Danielle. So she's been working with me for 3 years. So she started with me. This was her day 1 on the left. And this was her
second show
last month. Second show. So we took some time. She was post baby on that left picture there, but
crushed it.
Yeah, she's great. All right, Miss Alysha.
Okay, so post show, I mean, when you're in it, you're in it. You're only looking at your show date, right? Like you have that one date planned. Everything after that doesn't matter. It's like you're just trying to survive until that day. And then post show, things are happening. You still want to continue your coaching because this is a very fragile time.
Fragile was a perfect word, sister.
Yeah.
Very fragile. Okay. So after show, you can have your fun. like go out to eat. Maybe the next day you go have breakfast, and then pretty much on Monday, you're back at it. You are not going to let post-show goodies just spiral into weeks on end. Okay. You want to stay with your coach for 8 to 12 weeks. That's another 2 to 3 months, because the recovery period is super important. Your body is in a very depleted state. We need to get you back to optimal levels and not gaining a bunch of body fat, letting your hormones continue to tank and just let you completely go down in the dumps for your physical and your mental state. Okay. We're not going to try and maintain this stage physique. We're going to recomp, and you're going to look better than when you started your initial contest prep. You will, if you do this right? You do this in our methodical process that we have, but you're not going to stay that stage lean. And then we will calculate a healthy off-season weight. So your set point will kind of come naturally. We'll get you eating foods you like and love. You'll continue your cardio, but it'll all become backed off slowly, and you will kind of set at a certain weight and then continue to progress, put on more muscle, and maybe plan for the next show. Okay. So we can do something like get the judges' feedback. So for Danielle here, we can send her photos to the top judges and say, okay, what do you think could I improve on for my next show? How can I get a better placing? What would you say? And they can say anything based on your physique, based on your suit, based on your tan. Like, they will give you it all. Okay. So what do you do with that? You get back in the gym and work on your weaknesses. Chances are, coming off that stage, your coach will already know what you need to work on, especially if it's your first time getting lean. There will be things you need to work on. Your first show, you shouldn't expect to go win the whole thing. No. You shouldn't. You should go in, expect to just be immersed in this whole journey and let it be for what it is. Have no expectation. Okay. And then bodybuilding is a forever moving target. It is ever evolving. If you see how the girls looked 5 years ago compared to now, it is completely different as people come into the sport and they have stayed with it for years on end. And you will only get better with time. So maybe your first show, that is not your end all be all. If you want to compete next year, you will look better. If you continue to do all the right things, continue to lift weights, you'll build muscle, and even better your next time.
Love that. And one thing I also want to mention too is don't procrastinate doing this, whether you coach with us or not. Okay. Don't procrastinate doing this, because I see this time and time again where women are like, no, I'm just going to keep lifting because I don't think I'm going to be ready. I don't think I have enough muscle. I need, I see what these girls like. I want to keep. Everybody has to do their first show. Everybody. And the girls that look the way they do now didn't look like they did their first show. They did not look like that. It is very, very rare unless you have genetic phenoms. So you have to keep that in mind. Everybody has to do their first show. So it's like, quit procrastinating that shit. And then lastly, I just want to impress upon the most important bullet on this slide, which is we are not trying to maintain the stage physique. Okay, this is not realistic for you to maintain this look all year round. We've all tried that shit. Okay, it's not realistic. It's realistic for a very tiny population that is already naturally lean, and you know those people. You went to school with those people. Maybe you are that person. You're what we call a carby Barbie.
Carby Barbie.
And you can eat all the food, and you can maintain that. But again, it is not normal.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so along those lines, right? You have to do a lot of things to get that lean. Are you willing to continue to do those things for the rest of your life?
No.
I'm not.
Okay, next slide. This was very clever, Miss Alysha. Like this she added some animation for me. So how much does this cost? Okay, so we've talked about the how, right? A loose outline of like what you are expected of in all the things to get you on stage. Now, cost is huge. Budget, investment. We're going to go over that. Now, these are loose guesstimates. We're probably forgetting something, but this is a very expensive hobby, right?
It is a hobby.
It is a hobby, but it's also improving your health. And while the bodybuilding piece of it, yes, is the extreme piece, the journey we want you to take away from that is all of the skills and the tools and the habits and all the things that aren't as extreme that are going to keep you in a leaner stronger, more muscular body if that's what you like, right? So again, it's an investment in your health. Okay. So real quick on the photo, this is my 97-pound client, Miss Anna Canizaro. So she's 51. She just competed this past weekend. This was her first show. She's been training with us at the studio for, I don't know, a year, 2 years maybe.
Yeah.
She started with me in January 2022. This picture on the left was her first check-in photo. And we got her on stage in July of 2023. So this was just last weekend. So let's go over some rough costs. So coaching, right? Coaching for the most part for bodybuilding in this industry is all done online. It's very rare that you're going to find an in-person coach to work with that has like what we have at Venus. I think we're kind of like this special little place where we have like a studio and we're like a one-stop shop. That is not generally the case. Most of the time, your coach is going to work online. They probably don't have a brick and mortar business. They have a laptop and they just work from home. Now, the duration of your coaching is going to largely depend, and that's why I put these into two categories. You have recurring costs and then you have one-time costs, okay? How long you need your coach is going to depend on how much you spend on coaching. When is your show? How much time does your body need to get stage ready? So for some girls, this could be 30 weeks. In this case, you've seen these slides. Some of these girls have been working with us for years, right? So it's just definitely dependent on that. But the going rate right now for online coaching is going to be anywhere from $300 to $500 a month. That's pretty average. I paid $800 a month for my coach last year. So it goes up, okay? But this is generally for NPC, entry-level, bikini athletes, wellness figure, whatever.
I would say just along the lines, since we're here, just be careful if you're getting somebody that's a coach that's underneath that, because
that's lower pricing than that. You're going to get a Walmart coach.
Walmart coach.
Ain't nobody want a fucking Walmart coach.
And Walmart is going to make you look like a melted candle.
Yes, because I get those clients. They come to me and they're like, my coach gave me this, help. And I'm like, oh God, we got to start all over. We got to scrap that and start over.
Yeah.
Then you have your posing lessons, right? Again, we are a one-stop shop in that we offer at the studio, but it's a separate thing from coaching.
It's another cost.
Because it's a separate skill that we all had to craft and learn and hire our coaches and take workshops and study the sport and spend hundreds of hours refining, right? So you might have a posing coach. You might have a competition coach. So you might have a personal trainer, right? We offer personal trainer where we're at. So these are things to consider. You're going to have a gym membership or a personal trainer. And I like to akin this very much to pro sports, right? So if you think of like the NBA, the basketball players, right? Yeah. They have a strength coach. They have a conditioning coach. They have a strategy coach. If you think of the baseball players, they have a bench coach, a pitch coach, an offensive coach, a hitting coach, a coach for the coach's coach, right? So they're all specialists in different things. So again, because this isn't just a like, let me get skinny contest. This is a not serious, but a serious sport. It makes sense that you would have specialists in all these areas. So you are stepping on stage the best version of you for that.
I think there's one thing you forgot.
Oh, tell me.
Body work.
I didn't put that in. I was going to put that in. Those are extras. Those are extras. So as you take your body through this journey, you're likely going to need some body work. I mean, I was getting body work done every single week when I was getting my pro card, when I was training to compete for my pro card.
I feel like you were going twice.
There's sometimes I was going to the chiropractor. I had somebody for scraping and cupping. I had a deep tissue massage. I did acupuncture. I did all the things because your body is the product. And when you're training, it's just like when you run your car down, right? You need to change the oil. You got to change the brakes. Like your body's no different. And in competition, that's something you have to also consider. So supplements as well. We usually have our clients on a base level of supplements for health reasons. If you do physique enhancing drugs, AKA steroids, that's a whole nother conversation of hundreds and hundreds of dollars, which I wasn't about to outline here because it's not something that we're like pushing people to do, but that is a consideration. And then you have your one-time costs. Suits can be anywhere from $200 to $800 or more. Heels, you see the ranges here, jewelry, registration. registration for a show depends on how many classes you compete in, right? So there's different little categories you compete in, like Anna here. So Anna competed, since she's 50, she competed in the 50 and over class. She competed in the 45 and over class. And then she competed in the true novice, which is like beginner class. Okay.
Never
so
competed.
Each of those divisions was $160. So she had to pay that for each. Then you have your NPC card, which is like your driver's license to compete in the NPC. If you want stage photos, that's an extra cost. Hotel expenses, if you have to travel to a show. Hair, makeup, tan, those all run around $150 each.
Mhm.
And then nails, toes, those kinds of things. Now, what are your thoughts on budgeting for these things? Like as far as where you can skimp? Because I'm going to tell you, you should not skimp on coaching. And I'm not saying that just because I'm a coach, but you should not skimp on coaching, not on your posing lessons, and you should find a good personal trainer if you are going to go that route, unless you're already pretty skilled with training and you can handle that on your own.
Yeah, I mean, I think your suit, you can always buy this secondhand. We just want to make sure that it fits you well. Heels, you can go on Amazon. You can get a pair for like $40. Totally fine. These two things you can reuse if you compete again.
Mm-hmm.
Jewelry, online, Amazon, you can get some cheap shit. If you're really wanting to get real cheap, you can get on Shein and you can buy some shit there. Okay, but other than that, everything else, I would not skimp on your hair. I would not skimp on your makeup, especially if it's your first show. Now, I've done my hair and I've done my makeup before, but it's scary, okay? You have a lot of like anxiety, excitement, all kinds of things when you're going through that. And you just want to make sure that whenever you are ready to get on stage, you're like, oh, my eyelash isn't falling off, or my lips are wrong, or your face is a different color than your body, because the tan is going to be real dark. Real dark.
Yes. Yes, she is.
The darker, the better.
Yes.
I did my makeup for my first 2 shows. And that was stressful because
It's
you're
stressful.
waking up, you're taking photos for your coach, and you're like, I gotta eat, and then I gotta do my makeup, and hopefully I don't fuck it up. It's too much.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
And I did your hair, I think, for 2 shows. So yeah, so there are ways that you can budget and cut costs. And like if you're super, like I had one athlete one year, she bought just a plain suit, I want to say like on eBay or something like that. And she was a Martha Stewart. She bedazzled the shit out of that thing. And I was like, you get it, girl. If you got time to do that, by all means, go for it. And it ended up turning out really well. So
I think one thing to say about hair too is typically if you have short hair, this is not for everybody. Some people wear short hair on the stage, but it's always very glam to get some extensions. If you can get a pair that matches your hair, you can get a cheaper pair of just clip-ins or a halo off of Amazon, not spending, thousands of dollars for the real shit that they put in your hair that takes so long.
So like Anna here in this photo, she had just like a little clip-in thing that she put in for her little red hair extensions, and it looked lovely.
Yeah.
Okay. We are almost done, friends. Thank you for hanging in. Okay. So we talked about all the things. We are in the middle of open enrollment for competition coaching, and it's going to be open until July the 28th. So for the next couple of weeks, we're going to be taking some applications by way of physique assessments. So I'm just going to give you that information here, and then we're going to launch into the Q&A right in just a second. We have limited space. This is not a scarcity tactic. We are pretty limited on space. So the reason why we do the application process is because we want to make sure that we're not just taking everybody. We're not Walmart coaching. It's not a volume game for us. It's quality over quantity. So when you apply with a physique assessment, essentially what you're doing is you are sending in your current progress photos in a 2-piece suit. Please do not wear shorts. I will come for you. Okay, so a 2-piece suit, so we can assess your physique, right? It's just for my eyes. I'm the one doing the physique assessments. The more detail that you put on this form, if you're interested in applying, the better for me, because I dissect that thing. And then once I get that, I send you back a personalized video that's generally about 15 minutes. These guys have to listen to them every time because sometimes they get clients from that. But it's very detailed. It's like, here's where you are. This is where you want to be. This is the division I suggest. And this is probably how long it's going to take. And if you're not a good fit for the team, I will have other suggestions and things for you to consider working on besides diving into competition prep, because it's not for everybody. And I will be very honest with you in a kind way. You'll get my video with a timeline. That's yours to keep, and it goes over everything. If you decide you want to sign up for coaching, your coach is going to get that video. They're going to want to get on a call with you. Your coach either being Glitter, I'm probably only taking 2 people if I'm being honest, but either Amanda or Alysha will get on a Zoom call with you so they can see you face to face. They'll talk you through it, go over the strategy, get to know you, and then they'll get on to creating your plan. They are going to want to know, like, what's realistic for you as far as training. How many days a week are you going to be able to work out? Like, do you work 14 hours? Are you going to need 6 meals? Are you going to need 4 meals? Like, what's realistic? So all these things are person specific. Okay. Then once you get off your Zoom, they're going to devise that plan for you. You're going to get your training plan. You're going to know what cardio you're doing. You're going to know what you're eating, whether that's a meal plan or you start with macros, what your goals are. Every single week, you will be checking in with your coach. Your coach will send you a talking head video every single week, going over your previous week's progress and saying, like, okay, we nailed this. We didn't do that. This is what we're working on. This is your homework. These are your marching orders. This is your goal for next week. That could be a scale goal. That could be whatever. We'll tell you how many steps. We'll tell you how many fucking breaths you can take a day. Okay. Am I missing anything there, ladies?
No.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Okay.
It's like, here's your plan.
Yes.
Now go.
And they're not cookie cutter, and hence why this is so intensive of a process. I'm going to paste the physique assessment link here in the box if anybody's interested, but we're going to move on to the Q&A.
Oh, yay.
Q&A. Yay. All right. So let's look in the chat box real quick here if there was anything we did not cover. Time commitment, we talked about that. Yes. So Michelle asks, time commitment, is it possible to train independently if getting to Modesto isn't possible more than 1 to 2 times a week? Yes.
We have lots of competitors, obviously, across the country that train by themselves all the time.
Yes, exactly. So if you are comfortable in a weight room setting and getting into the gym already on your own doing weights, then most of our clients across the world at this point, you've got someone in the UK.
I do.
I think you have one in Canada. So they are, either hiring a personal trainer in their location or they're executing on their own. Okay.
Yeah. If you are local to us though, and you are able to get into the studio, please do that because we love to see you. The vibes in the studio are great. Plus, we can show you how we train and how we want you to train.
Which is important.
Very important. So that's another thing that we didn't talk about.
I was just about to say that.
We ask for training videos. So if you're not comfortable videoing yourself in the gym, start now because we're going to be asking.
Yes. And it doesn't have to be some elaborate setup with a tripod and like a ring light and all that. It's like just prop your phone up against your shaker cup. We want to see how you're doing your hip thrusts. We want to see how you're doing your squats on the Smith machine. Those types of things. And we will ask that of you likely for a while in the beginning until we feel like you have our blessing to just be training on your own. Mm-hmm. Ruby asks, my friend competed and did macros her whole prep. Any reason for macros specifically for prep? Some coaches will give you the autonomy of that. Most coaches that are coaching higher level athletes will not.
The reason for that is because if you are like throwing things into your MyFitnessPal, you have macros and we're real close to show, or even if we're real far out and you're like, I don't know why my scale didn't move. Well, maybe because some of the process things that you're putting into your MyFitnessPal, that is, if it fits my macros, is not serving you. It could be making some sort of science project in your body and then you're bloated, even if you don't feel it. Maybe you're shitting your pants. I don't know, whatever. Maybe the sugar is more, I was just doing some deep dive into some nut butters and there was like a caramel nut butter, had 10 more carbs in it than the regular nut butter.
Yes.
So this is how nitty gritty we're getting with the foods, with your meal plan on this.
Yeah. And I've had people trying to swap out Pop-Tarts and shit for food on their meal plan. And here's the thing.
Hey.
Okay. When you are, let's say, eating in prep 1,200 calories, which is entirely possible, right? 1,200 calories, and you want to have a 400 calorie Pop-Tart. How full do you think that's going to leave you after you eat 1 out of 2 Pop-Tarts? It's not. I'm going to want you feeling satiated, not having cravings, not introducing weird processed foods into your system when you haven't been eating gluten and tons of sugar and your body's like a little sponge. So that's why we don't do macros when you are in a contest prep scenario like that. We will give you autonomy over like a lean protein. So do you want chicken breast? Do you want turkey breast? Do you want fish? I don't care. Choose one of those, go, right? Things like that. But other than that, everything is mapped out for you. Somebody asks, do you always drop creatine peak week? I do, just as a safeguard, just because it does pull water into the GI sometimes. And honestly, you're not going to be building muscle peak week. You're not going to be like withering away without having creatine for 1 week. So I pull anything that's not necessary for you, if you like, unless you have like a thyroid medicine or something you have to take prescribed by your doctor. We pull most of that out during peak week. And for those of you like, what's peak week? That's the week before show when we just try to keep everything very consistent.
Chill out. That's that week.
Somebody says, what do you do when you have an eating problem one day? And why did I gain 10 pounds from 1 day of eating crappy?
Well, that's going to range into a whole lot of things. Maybe you have a gluten intolerance. Maybe you ate a shitload of calories. Maybe you haven't taken a poop yet. It could be everything. Your body doesn't have enough water. You're probably dehydrated. So it's going to be all kinds of things. And in reality, I can swing on the scale like nobody's business.
Totally.
I can swing on the scale. So the thing too, with that being said, if you're on your game the next day and a few more days, most of that bloat is going to come down. So that doesn't mean go ahead and swing 10 pounds on the scale. That just means like, oh shit, I fucked up. Let me dial it back in and try not to do that again.
Yes. If you're in a contest prep scenario and I'm coaching you, I might say this may have set us back and we might not be able to do the show.
Correct.
Let's see how the next week or two goes. Check in with me in 4 days. Let's see what your scale's doing. Let's get some of that off, get right back on track. So that's always something to think about. Perla says, I want to compete, but I don't want to take steroids. I also don't want to be at a disadvantage. Are there leagues where you can compete naturally? Yes. There are several. OCB, I think, is one. Yes.
Natural.
These are natural shows. They tend to be smaller shows.
They test typically.
Yes, they will test you, and you can expect that you're either going to do a polygraph, a urine test, or a blood test. Yeah. So those are options. We have girls and athletes that do compete in these divisions. It's not necessarily something we specialize in, but the method is still the same, right? We still got to get you
getting lean.
We still have to get you lean.
You're still posing. You still got a sparkly bikini. You're still training. All of that stuff.
Yes. Let's see. Somebody asked, we talked about support system. I just had my ACL completely replaced via my own quad autograft. Do I still have a future competing?
It just depends on when you can get back into the gym.
It depends on that. It depends on what division you want to compete in. If you're wanting to do, something like wellness, that might take a little bit longer, or figure. So it's not impossible. We've had people with all kinds of injuries and surgeries and things like that have competed. So how early do you purchase your suit, and how do you guess the weight loss for a suit? That's actually a really good question. You want to purchase it about 16, 20 weeks out. You are not going to be close to your stage weight then. They know that, right?
Yeah.
They will generally say, what does your coach think you're going to be weighing on stage? They will generally ask you that. You should know that. We will tell you that what we're projecting your stage weight to be. That way you can let them know. If you order from somebody online, they will usually want you to send the suit back with your measurements so they can tailor it appropriately. You can also take it to somebody locally and have that done, but that's an easy peasy part that we.
Yeah, if you guys want a really good depiction of that, you can totally go to my Instagram, and there's a picture of me in like a pink top and a green bottom, and I was nowhere near ready for that show yet.
Yes.
But when I came back to her, she's like, oh yeah, you did good. And I was like, oh yeah.
Yes.
This is what we do.
Teresa asked, could you share the name of the bikini vendor that you use that is located in Santa Rosa? Yes, that is Toxic Angels.
Do we still have a coupon code?
Yes, I can link that up. That'll be in the show notes because this is also going to be a podcast.
Yay.
But yes, and I believe I think my name is
Diane.
the code and it saves you like 15% or something.
Yeah.
So you can totally do that.
Yeah,
All right.
if you were in California and you have a chance to actually go and try on suits, you should.
Definitely.
Just because it's fun. You're going to see what color looks good on you. You're going to see all of the different ones instead of just looking at them online. Because there is a lot of different things that go into it. I'll tell you one thing about your suit that I didn't really realize in the beginning is that you can pick a color fabric, but the jewels on top are going to dictate what color it shines on stage.
Yes.
So the jewels can completely change the look of the suit.
All right, you guys. Well, I think we covered all the things. Hopefully this was helpful to you and you learned something about our crazy world in bodybuilding and competing. Obviously, you know where to find us on socials. If you have any lingering questions, you want to hop on a call, any of that fun stuff, just reach out and let us know. Visit that physique assessment if you're curious, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yay.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Wait. Before you go, Boss Bitches, real quick. I know we've just reached the end of another awesome episode of Boss Bitch Radio, and I'm hoping that you're having a blast listening to us and learning with us. But guess what? The fun does not have to stop there. If you are hungry for more things boss bitchery, fitness goodness, all the mindset stuff, all of the things that keep you motivated, you need to sign up for my newsletter. I know, I can't believe we've gone over 150 episodes and I have not mentioned once for y'all to be signing up for my newsletter because I've had a newsletter for 16 years. Every week I send out some content. Usually it's a wrap up of some of the podcast episodes with some snippets in there that's bite sized that you can carry with you in your little pocket. But you wouldn't know unless you joined. All the cool bitches be on my newsletter list, and then you can just reply and we can chat. Those all go back to me, like it is me. I do write the things. So I would love to continue to motivate you outside of this podcast. I would love to pop into your inbox occasionally. No worries. I'm not going to spam you. I don't eat spam. I'm not going to send spam. But there will be some LOLs and some content that you won't want to miss. So join our Boss Bitch tribe. I'm going to link up the newsletter list sign up form in the show notes, which if you haven't taken a peek at the show notes, you should probably do that. There's some good ass links in there. There's some discounts, fun shit. Go find the email newsletter link, put your name on there, and every week I'll be whispering sweet nothings to you in your inbox. And it's a great way for us to stay connected outside of the podcast. All right, I'll see you in your inbox soon.